these are my 5 social media non-negotiables that I left in 2023 and I am not tolerating anymore this year. You know, social media is like any other sphere of your life where you build specific habits in order to increase the quality of it. And of course, in social media, there are both good habits and bad habits. And these are 5 examples of social media bad habits that I used to do in last year and decided to get rid of this year. Hi, my name is Alisa. I am a social media expert and I offer UGC 360 services, which means that on the one hand, I help brands to implement UGC as a part of their social media strategy. On the other hand, I also help people to become content creators, to make money with it, to make it their side job or even full-time job. So I'm doing social media professionally for the last 6 years, and of course I've built different habits, both good and bad. Some of them do not serve me anymore and I decided to get rid of them, and in this video we are specifically going to talk about 5 that I not just see in myself, but I also see a lot of them in other people on social media, and I really think that we do not need these habits and that we can actually do better. So let's talk about them today. After I have read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear a couple of years ago, I definitely do believe that habits are basically the fundament of our lives, because habits help us to build systems, and systems are also like unconscious behavior patterns that are so automatized that we do not even need to think about them. And when you have these different systems in different parts of your lives, then you can actually increase the quality of your life through increasing the quality of your systems, and therefore also through increasing the quality of your habits. So first of all, probably the baddest thing that I was doing straight for the last couple of years was overthinking my content. I am a perfectionist, and this also means that I want to have everything perfect in any area of my life. Like, doesn't matter what I do, I want to have it done perfectly. And it means that on social media I was struggling with writing a perfect caption, getting the perfect shot, that my skin looks like the best on the photo or the video, especially that my body looks in a specific way. So of course always posting content from a specific angle, and this takes so much mental capacity. You can't really imagine, because throughout the day we usually make around 30,000 decisions. Just imagine how much mental capacity you actually take from your other tasks if you start to overthink in your content. Like, it's crazy. And I do not get more views because I'm a perfectionist. I do not get more leads, I do not get more clients. It's just basically something that sits in my head and something that I can work on. How I kind of decided to get rid of this perfectionism or this overthinking of my content was firstly to allow myself to make mistakes. So for example, I always used to Photoshop the background. For example, if I make a full outfit photo and you can see, I don't know, some leaves on the background, I always used to Photoshop them away because I thought that it should be like crystal clean picture. I also completely stopped using Facetune or anything like that smoothes my skin, that makes this and this and that. So the photos that I post are basically just the photos where I go to my camera roll and I just lower down the exposure, and maybe sometimes I use the contrast, but that's actually it. So I started to leave myself room for making mistakes, and it gave me the freedom to understand that it's not about perfectionism. My followers do not follow me because I am perfect, but they follow me because I am authentic, because I can show myself and I am not afraid of being myself. Being myself means also not to be flawless, but also to be vulnerable, to show that not everything is perfect, and yeah, this is what really helped me. The second point is scrolling for inspiration. I really hate to admit, but earlier I've spent a lot of time just scrolling mindlessly on Instagram. I was like watching reels, I was looking for trending sounds, same thing on TikTok. I was trying to understand what other people are doing, and while this is not bad per se, because of course, I mean, as creative people, we like to kind of get a glimpse of what other people are doing. At the end of the day, no one really knows your audience better than you, and no one really knows what your audience wants to see. which types of content performed by you may be different than like things that are trending right now. And unfortunately, I see a lot of people who just copy paste the ideas of other bloggers. And of course, sometimes it's fine. I mean, we do not reinvent the wheel again, but sometimes they do this literally like font to font, caption to caption, the style of the video, like everything one to one. And I find this actually like super strange. Like this is intellectual property, and I would be very mad if I would see an account which is completely copying my ideas. So I mostly go on Pinterest, and I rather just look for, as I said in the last video, for inspiration in the sense of the vibes, the aesthetics. But I do not just go on TikTok or on Instagram and scroll in order to get like this specific idea how to make a video. The next habit that I decided to get rid of is to follow social media gurus. And by social media gurus, I actually mean people who are doing so as if they already know it all. Like these are algorithm gurus who will always give you the latest algorithm updates. These are people who say, yeah, you need to do this and this and that in order to get 1,000 followers, 100,000 followers, doesn't matter. So I do not follow these people anymore because I do not believe them. Like I told you in one of my videos about creative burnout that I have literally been posting on Instagram every single day for 1 year straight. And this was all due to like the social media gurus who told me that this is like the right way. And I just know that this doesn't work. So if you want a sustainable and wholesome social media strategy, then you firstly need to understand what is actually your end goal. Like, is it to get followers? Is it to get leads? Is it to sell the product? These are a lot of different goals. And when you follow social media gurus, of course, they won't differentiate between these goals. They will just give you like one recipe that should kind of suit all of the people, but in fact it doesn't work. So the accounts I follow in social media are more or less like the accounts of my competitors or interesting accounts where I just get an understanding of how the market currently looks like, but I do not really follow their advice unless I really think that there is something about it. Fourth thing is what I actually recently heard on some of the podcasts about social media trends in 2024, and there was a topic of being omnipresent on platforms, which means that you put out your content there on a lot of different platforms in order to have a more possible reach. And actually, I do not agree with this because firstly, it takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of creativity, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of resources because every single platform is different from each other. So what you put on Instagram is not the same as what you should put on TikTok. If you're trying to recycle your content, of course, there are good ways for this, but this doesn't mean that it will be the same for every single platform. Being omnipresent for me is something that people can do if social media is really their full-time job. So if they have a social media team who can actually post this whole bunch of content out there, who can help to edit this content and to do this specifically to any single platform. But in the realities where we live, where, for example, I also have another job, I also have a business, and I'm also studying, it's just impossible to spend so much time on being everywhere. So this is why, for me, it doesn't work. And for me, I needed to decide which platforms do really work and which platforms specifically align with my goals. So the last habit that I decided is not serving me anymore is just to look at my reach. And with reach, I mean, these are of course different like metrics on different platforms, but this basically means how much accounts do see your content, like reach on Instagram or impressions on LinkedIn. This is basically kind of the same thing. And with this, I mean that I used to really look at, oh my god, this reel got 1,000 impressions and this one got like 8,000 impressions. What am I doing wrong, right? This is always like probably the first and the easiest thing that we look at is our reach. But actually, as an influencer, as I told you already, what should interest you is your engagement. What really interests me is how much people who see my content are actually converting into my clients. So like lead generation part of it and impressions are a little bit useless for me, because maybe 100,000 accounts will find my video, but if they at the end of the day do not decide to buy my services, then it's basically it's cool, but it's something that I can talk about, but it's not really serving my goals. So this is why I think that every person should kind of decide for herself or for himself which metrics are actually aligning with your goals, and afterwards just basically try to stick to these metrics. Overall, these were the 5 habits that I decided to leave in 2023. Again, this was overthinking my content, this was scrolling for inspiration, this was following social media gurus, this was being omnipresent, and this was just looking at the reach. I think that there are, of course, different bad habits and good habits that everyone has when it comes to social media. But I think that these are 5 things that are really, really crucial, and that if you get rid of them, this will actually make your social media life a little bit easier. So this is why I decided to share them with you. And of course, as usually, if you like this video, then don't forget to follow me. Of course, send this video to people who may find it helpful and interesting. And we will see each other in the next one. Bye.